Hello everyone, thank you for watching Edupedia World videos. So in this video, we learn about the operation modes in an ABAP application server. Operation modes. Operation modes let you flexibly adapt the system configuration to varying requirements, maximizing the use of available system resources. So in the last video, we have learned about logon groups which are configured using SMLG transaction. So we can configure logon groups and assign them to different work groups, business work groups, to optimize the system performance. So depending upon the number of users logged on and the response time, so when a particular user is assigned the logon group, he will be directed to the best application server. Okay, so to improve the performance, these logon groups are created. Similarly, to maximize the use of the available system resources, the operation modes are created. An operation mode defines a resource configuration for the instance in your system. It can be used to determine which instances are started and stopped and how the individual services are allocated for each instance in the configuration. This operation mode, it defines the resource configuration. Instance means it has a set of work process. So the operating mode, it defines the resource configuration for the instances in your system. So here we can understand like which instances are started and stopped and how the individual services are allocated for each instance in the configuration. You can define operation modes to suit specific system requirements, for example, to provide additional dialog or background processing resources during a particular period of time without having to restart the system. Now, your SAP system is nothing but it has a set of an instance. It has n number of instances and an instance has some work process. Okay, so we have dialog, background, spool, update and enqueue work process. Now, if during particular period of time, say during the daytime or during the night time, if you want additional dialog or background resources, okay, so this time I want more dialog work process in the day. In the night time I want, because nighttime users don't directly log on to the system, so the dialog logins will be less. So nighttime the system can be used to run batch jobs. So there during that time we might require more background work process. So this adjustment can be done using operation modes without restarting the system. Define operation modes. The number of work process used for each service in the instance, the time that the services are available. So operation mode defines like the work process, the number of work process used for each service in the instance, like background, dialog or whatever it is, and the times that these services are available. So I want more dialog work process during the day, I want more background work process during the night time. So you will change the type of work process depending upon the time. So that is the operation mode. And support operation modes: 24-hour uninterrupted system operation, automatic switching of work process. Now I have an instance, it has say 30 work process. In that, every instance generally the enqueue work process is different. It will be configured generally on the primary application server or the central instance. The other type of work process like spool and update, those also we can increase or decrease, but the actual clash comes between the dialog and the background, okay, because these are more. Okay, so during the daytime the number of work process will not change. Okay, the actual instance has say 30 work process. So during the daytime, say like out of 30, some 6 are reserved for spool, enqueue and update. So I have 24 remaining. So during the daytime I'll have 15 as dialog and 9 as background, but during the night I might change it. So I'll have 10 as dialog and I'll have 14 for background. So that type of adjustment is done using operation modes. So you'll have a 24-hour uninterrupted system operation and automatic switching will be done. So the number of work process will not change. However, the type of the work process will change depending upon our need and the time. You can define a new operation mode or change an existing operation mode in the transaction code RZ04. So RZ04 is used for operation modes, this transaction code. You can define separate operation modes for day and night operation. This means you can guarantee response time for important data entry transactions during the day and use more work process at night for job processing. Between 6 hours in the morning and 20, that is 8 p.m., you will predominantly use the system for dialog processing. Outside that time, system resources are primarily required for background jobs. So in a real-time production system scenario, so from morning 6 to 8 during our work hours generally, okay, when the users are directly accessing the system using dialog logins, you will require more dialog work process. And during the night time, that is night 8 p.m. to morning 6 a.m., when the dialog logins are less, then you can run the batch jobs. So that time we will require more background work process. You can reconfigure your system dynamically at set times by switching operation modes and thus avoid the disadvantages of a system restart. So you can reconfigure your system dynamically. So this change is done dynamically by just switching the operation modes and avoid the disadvantages of a system restart. Okay, so this will prevent us from having a system restart. So the switch of a work process mode from dialog to a background is done dynamically. Okay, so it does not require any system restart. Now this is the screen for RZ04. CCMS maintain operation modes and instances. Okay, so this is the screen. See here, the night means the production operating modes, the normal operation, the operation mode, the time and the text. Okay, so night is from 23 to 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and normal, that is the day. Whatever the text you can change, that we have defined from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. So depending upon your system, your business needs, you will define this operation modes. In the timetable for automatic operation mode switching, enter the times for two operation modes: 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. for day operation, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. for night operation. This timings are like customized depending upon, like in this system, like I want daytime to be this much, we can define daytime operation mode and night time, so we can change those timings. Okay, so here in this example, the screenshot shows like night time is from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. normal, that's the daytime, is from 6 a.m. to evening 11 p.m. In this chart, if we see day operation, they have defined from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and night from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. So here see the number of work process here: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 work process we have. Okay, so here also in the night operation 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the number of work process are 10. The resources are same. Okay, in the daytime the dialogues work process are 5, but in the night time they are only 2. In the daytime background is only set to 1, but in the night it's set to 4. In the daytime update is set to 2. So it's generally update, enqueue and spool, we don't change them unless and until if it's required, like say like if some resource update, more update operations are having, then probably during daytime or nighttime, whatever it is, you can change them manually. But in the general, we'll have basically two operation modes, day and night. Okay, so the switch is generally made between dialog is more during day, background is more during night. Most resources will then be available for dialog processing during the day. At 8 p.m. the operation mode will be switched automatically, making more system resources available for background jobs and data transfer from other systems. At 6 a.m. the next day, the day operation mode will automatically be activated, making more system resources available for dialog processing. So once your system is up and running, you create these operation modes in RZ04. Okay, so then once you just create them in RZ04 and save them, they will come into effect. Okay, this is dynamic, you don't require any system restart. Okay, just it takes few seconds for the system to change that work process. If we go into this instances and operation modes, so here this is how you see them. Okay, instance, maintain new instance. Okay, work process distribution. See, so this is the instance host name, the instance, the profile, and the number of work process which are configured. Okay, so if you can go to each one of them, okay, the instances or the operation modes and the profiles. Okay, so you can check them. Okay, and you will have all the other operations, all the other operations can be done from here, like you can create new instance from here, you can delete the entry. Okay, you can create a new operation, all these things, create, see here, consistency check, set to active, deactivate, whatever it is. Okay, so from these two options you maintain the operation modes and the instances. Operation mode errors. If an operation mode switch fails, the most frequent causes inconsistency in the instance definition. Say like the switch is not happening properly. You have in RZ04 you have made the configuration, but during the daytime I have logged into my system. So say like if this is the example I have defined, day dialog 5 and background 1, but when I go to SM50 of that instance and actually count the number of work process of each type, I'm not able to find dialog 5 and background 1. So the switch has not happened properly. So why a different number of profiles or a different total number of work process are defined for day and for night operation? Yes. So see, whether it is a day or night, the total work process remain the same. So while defining the operation modes, say here like instead of daytime dialog work process 5, I have by mistake I have typed 6, or background by mistake I have typed 2. Okay, then the total number of work process defined for the day and the night should be same. Okay, because it's the same instance where the switch is happening. Okay, so maybe while creating the operation modes by mistake we have defined wrong number of work process, because then the total number of work process for each operation mode is not matching, and a server was started with a different configuration than the configuration described in the instance definition. If these problems occur, the control panel displays the message of operation mode non-standard or work process non-standard. So then a server was started with different configuration ones, maybe the profile used in the server by mistake, like the server was restarted with a different profile, or a different profile is selected here. Okay, then this inconsistency will occur. So then when you run RZ04, it will display a message that operation mode non-standard, work process non-standard. Then to solve the problem, what you have to do, make the necessary changes to the instance definition or copy the current instance status to the instance definition. So then you have to go to this tab, instances and operation modes, or instance, you have to check in these two and you have to see that everything is properly defined. Okay, or you have to copy the current instance status to the instance definition. So here see, this particular application server during daytime, this is how the work processes are configured, and you can change, say like your dialog you want to increase, you have to put the cursor here, and if you can say plus. Okay, if you want to reduce the background, you put the cursor there and say minus, and you save it. Okay, so this is like maintain instance data. That's what, from these two tabs, instances and operation modes and instances and profiles, okay, the instance should use the correct profile, and the total number of work process in each operation mode also should be same, otherwise the switch will not happen properly. Now consistency checks. You can run an error check of the profile definitions to avoid any system problems. This consistency check determines whether changes made to profiles are valid and recognizes any setting that will prevent the system from starting or operating properly. So here you have an additional option like consistency check. Okay, so if you say instance consistency check, this will do a consistency check. Okay, it will show you like whether it's using what profile that instance is using, the start profile. Okay, so in the next videos we'll learn more about profiles. Okay, so every instance will have its own start profile and instance profile. So, and the entire SAP system has one more profile known as a default profile. So what are the profiles this instance is using, and it'll also show like the number of work process configured in the respective types in the respective operation modes. Okay, so all that information we'll get. So that's what from RZ04 you go to instance and you say this consistency check. Here it is, instance consistency check. Now all the start and instance profiles for the defined instances are checked. The profiles are compared with the current work process distribution. The check determines, for example, whether the NQ work process are started on more than one server or whether the message server has been properly configured. So this one checks like whether this NQ work process is NQ. We should, in an SAP system, generally all the NQ work process are configured on the same instance. Okay, we can have more than one NQ work process, but all these work processes are configured only on the same instance. So it checks whether, by mistake, if the NQ work process is configured on different instances, and it will also check like message server has been properly configured or not. Then it will also check like what profiles the start and instance profile that instance is using. Okay, and the current work process distribution, like these many are dialog, these many are background, and the number of work process and all the instances should match. So you can run a consistency check for each instance and check whether it's properly configured or not. Now, defining normal operation mode. So basically we can define two types of operation modes. One is the normal one, which is always there when a system is up and running, and the other one is exception operation mode. This we can define on basis of our need. Okay, for normal operation mode you must maintain the operation mode timetable. So every operation mode has a timetable. Okay, so in RZ04 configuration operation mode timetable. So from here we can go to operation mode timetable from the initial screen. Okay, you can select, go into that operation mode. If I double click this, it will take you to a screen, and there you can view the timetable of that operation mode. Choose normal operation mode and display. Okay, then the normal operation mode, the system displays the timetable for 24 hours. So it will give you a list of 24 hours in the day. Okay, to assign other times to operation mode, choose normal operation and change. In the 24-hour clock, what all operation modes are assigned to that instance, that it will show. Double click on the start time and the end time that you require. Choose assign to assign these times to the operation mode. So you'll get a list, say from 0 to 24 hours. So it will show like day operation starts at 6 and ends at 23. Night operation starts at 23 and ends in the morning 6 a.m. So if you want to configure some other operation mode, like evening, if you have some special purpose or something, that also you can include there. So that's what you can adjust your different operation modes across this 24 hours. Enter the name of the operation mode to be active for the time period and save the changes. You can only select productive operation modes. You must always define a full 24-hour cycle, that is the operation mode must be set up for 24-hour system operation. So normal operation mode is nothing but in a particular one day we have 24 hours. Okay, so this 24 hours you can assign whatever you want, say this time period to day, this time period to night, or if you want you can include some other operation mode also, say like from morning 6 to evening 6 you put day, from evening 6 to 9 you put some special batch processing, you can put that operation mode. Okay, and from night 9 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. you can put night. So you can divide the 24-hour clock into various operation modes. So first you define the operation modes. Okay, and define the operation modes, you define the time and the number of how the work processes are configured in each of the operation mode, and then in that timetable you assign the operation modes, you set them in the 24-hour clock. Now exception operation mode, and here for the normal operation mode one thing we have to remember is like all the operation modes, whatever, say like you have created 3 operation modes, day and night, and one special one also. You need not assign that special operation mode in the 24-hour clock. Okay, it's up to you. If you want to, you can create an operation mode, but it's not necessary that you have to put it in the timetable. Okay, see, I have to do something, I have to go to a party. It's not like every day I will go to the party, right? Whenever required, I'll go. So my office timings are from morning 9 to evening 6, and my home timings are from evening 6 a.m. to morning 9. Okay, so that is my daily routine. However, I have a third operation mode, say like some party time. Okay, so every day in my timetable, if I check, I'll have 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. office and 6 p.m. to morning 9 a.m. home. Okay, so that will be running every day. But whenever, like, we can change it at any point of time. Say like weekend comes, so I'll not be having office. So what I'll do, I'll change my operation mode. But system doesn't have weekdays and weekend, so generally we'll have 2 operation modes, day and night. Okay, say like if any point of time you want to put some special operation mode, so you go and change it. So say like morning 9 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. day, 6 p.m. to night 9 p.m. you'll put some special batch job execution, and night 9 p.m. to morning 6 a.m. again you put night. Okay, so that's what you can define n number of operation modes, but you need not put them in the 24-hour cycle. Generally we'll have every day running 2 operation modes, day and night in general, but you can customize them also. So that is for a normal operation. So that's how a system runs normally every day. So according to the normal operation timetable, the system checks like it will have 2 operation modes, day and night, and it will do a switch accordingly. Exception operation mode. For exception operation, you must maintain the operation mode timetable. So here also create it in the timetable. So what you do is choose RZ0 for configuration and operation mode timetable. Here also you go to the timetable, choose exception operation. For normal operation we choose normal operation. Okay, here say like we have chosen normal operation mode, so we go to exception operation. Okay, then you change it, and now change the date on which the operation mode is to be activated. Choose day +1, day -1, specify a day, choose assign to set the time at which the operation mode is to be activated, and save your changes. So this exception operation mode, you can define it for a particular day also. Okay, and you need not to define a full 24-hour cycle for exception operation. You must only define the period in which you want the operation mode to be active. So here you can just define the period, like this day during this time I want this exception operation mode to be active. This generally happens during system maintenance. Okay, and during weekends, whenever they do some maintenance on the system, like doing any upgrades or something, so what they do is this night and day operation mode will not be suitable. So during that time they'll define a new operation mode, okay, where probably updates are to be executed more or something. Okay, say like I know like this weekend Saturday from morning 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. my system is in maintenance. So what you do, Friday or Thursday or whenever the time is confirmed, you go and you create an exception operation, okay, in your timetable. So generally the system will be normal operation mode. So you create an exception operation mode, you choose the date, that is this Saturday's date or whatever it is, and then you also create a new operation mode, and you put that morning 9 a.m. to evening 9 p.m. the system should run in exception operation mode using whatever that operation mode is. Operation mode is nothing but how many types of work process you want, each type of work process how many you want, that you will define, and you put it and you save it. Okay, so Saturday what happens, Friday the system will be running in 2 operation modes, day and night. Now again Saturday morning will come 6 a.m. from night to day it will make a switch, but when Saturday 9 a.m. comes I have created an exception operation mode in my timetable. So then a switch will happen from normal to exception operation mode, and whatever operation mode I have created in that exception timetable, that will get activated until 9 p.m. Okay, so after that again it will come back into normal operation mode and it will check its timetable, like, okay, during my normal operation mode this time which operation mode should be active. Oh, it's night. Then it will go to night operation mode. So that's what you just in your timetable. Okay, generally system will be in normal, using the normal timetable operation mode, normal. In that you will set up basically day or night. That switch will happen every day dynamically. Whenever there is a demand or if there is a need, you also you can create an exception operation mode. Okay, this exception operation mode need not have this 24-hour cycle. Okay, so then you select the particular date and you select the time, and also in that date where you want to activate this exception operation mode, and save it. So when that period comes, when that time comes, this exception operation mode will be activated, and whatever hours you have defined there, the system will run in that mode. So operation mode is basically nothing, it's nothing but what all resources means here the work process which we have, we are changing them as per our need, from a dialog to a background or update or whatever it is. Okay, and here one more thing which we need to remember is, say like night operation mode, here if we take day operation mode, it will be running with 5 and 1, 5 background and 5 dialog and 1 background. So when night operation comes, these have to change to only 2 dialog and 4 background. But say like in this 5, okay, 4 users are active, means like even after 8 p.m. also that user is doing some work. So then a system will not, if its system changes from dialog to background, that user will be, he'll be logged off from the system. Okay, his session will get disconnected. So system will not do like that. Okay, system will wait until that active processing is completed in that dialog work process. Only after completion, then only it will change to background. So the switch from dialog to background or a background to dialog will not happen until the current task which that process is executing has completed. So we need not worry like, oh my god, 8 p.m. is coming now, the dialog work processing will end and background will start, so I have to finish my work. Don't worry. Okay, so unless your system gives more importance to users, so unless the active whatever processing, task processing, whether it's a dialog or a background, is completed, the work process type will not change from dialog to background or background to dialog. Okay, so that is very important. So RZ04 is the transaction which is used for maintaining this operation modes. Okay, so here you can go and explore this instances or operation modes and instances and profiles. Okay, here you'll first create the operation modes. See, here it's displaying a message, productive operation modes. So these operation modes are productive, and see here it's displaying message that normal operation. So the system is in normal operation mode now. Okay, so first you create different operation modes in the normal operation and you set the timetable, and you can also create an exception operation mode. So then it will display a message like exception operation. Okay, so during that day, that particular time, that exception operation mode will run. In general, the system will be in normal operation mode. So whatever operation modes you have created, they should cover the 24 timetable. Means a day will have 24 hours. So you have to adjust your operation modes to cover all the 24 hours. Say like I have not created any operation modes, okay, in my system. So one dummy, DUMMY, dummy operation will be displayed. That means like when you initially create the system, start the system, say like how many work process of each type you have defined for that instance, the system will run like that. Say like whatever definition I have given in the profile, like these many background, these many dialog, these many update, NQ and spool I should have. So system will run in that way only. So this dynamic switch will not happen until you define any operation mode. And even though if you don't define any operation mode also, it's fine. A dummy operation mode will be there where the initial configuration of the work process, the number and the type of work process we have defined in the profiles, that will be active. Okay. So why we define the operation mode? To do the dynamic switch. If we don't define an operation mode, the dynamic switch will not happen. Okay. So that is all about RZ04 operation modes. So this transaction from the, and you can, the other important thing is the consistency checks here. This is a good check. You can check the profiles, okay, and it will show you any errors, if the profile is having any errors. So this is also a good, this RZ04 even provides that facility, doing a consistency check of the profiles. Okay, so thank you.